Hello and a very warm welcome viewers. You're watching this special presentation of Sansad TV Samvad with your host Kriti Mishra, and joining us is a very special guest, Chairman of Bihar Legislative Council, Mr. Devesh Thakur. Sir, welcome to Sansad TV and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
So we are meeting at the sidelines of the 83rd All India Presiding Officers Conference. How important do you think this kind of platform is for deliberations, for ensuring that the working of our legislatures improve?
Well, I think it's very important, and I'm sure it will be very productive as well, because the issues being discussed are all matters of very great relevance. We are talking about G20, the effect of G20, we are talking about the harmonious relationship between the legislature and the judiciary. We are talking about how to make the legislation more effective, how to make the legislative committees more effective to the, for the betterment of the people and all that. I'm sure it's going to be very good.
So let's talk about Bihar and let's talk about the council and the assembly. So we've seen not so happy scenes of disruptions in both the council and the assembly, and even so, even the legislatures across the country. Do you think that is a very serious issue? Something that in fact Chairman of Rajya Sabha also pointed out, that this is the time to find some solution.
This is a question being raised since so many decades now. Nothing new about it, and I would relate it to development. You see, when legislators come into the house, whether the assembly or the council, they raise questions about not only legislators, it happens only on party lines actually, but the legislators of different parties. And naturally opposition parties will always highlight the shortcomings and the failures of the government. But depending on the states, the parties are naturally, that is the proportion of their aggressiveness. Now, for example, in Bihar, I am not talking on party lines, right? When two parties are united to make a government and then they separate. So the moment they separate, they find all the faults of the world in the other party.
That's true.
Right? And depending on the state again, place like Bihar, the aggression within the house, outside the house is all okay, there's absolutely no problem, but within the house, that is prompted more by the psychology of their electorate. That electorate gets happy. कि हमारे नेता ने आज क्या उठाया विधानसभा में बात हमारे इलाके का, क्या जोरदार तरीके से एकदम सरकार को झुका दिया, वगैरह वगैरह वगैरह. It happens with all the parties, it happens with all the governments. Now that does happen because we, in spite of lot of development done in Bihar, we still have the problem of unemployment. And the other things are, they have done a lot of work in Bihar, no doubt. All the governments, even when the BJP was with the JDU and both were together, and the development work on the development front, we are okay, there's no, but the backlog is so much that on the front of employment, we are definitely behind. And they're trying a lot, and they're doing whatever they can. But the new crop of educated young class that is coming up and not able to get employment there, or it is naturally because the backlog is so much that the total educated class coming out won't get employment there. Yeah. And when they come out, they go out, they feel that as it is we see, I have my work at Bombay, I see people from Bihar coming to Bombay and getting a lot of jobs. Not the best as they want, but they do good jobs. But that is one big problem. Otherwise, the unruly scenes are all part of that political image that they want to give to their electorate. It's not, that's all, nothing else. That's nothing else.
That's right, sir. So I'll come back to the functioning of the council. So as the chairman, what are the innovations that you have introduced in the council to better its functioning?
Well, you'll have to wait for that question, because I have just become the chairman just 4 months back. And the first thing which I started is to make the committees far more effective. The committees within the legislative council, of which the members are the members of the council, they also become members of various committees. So I want to make them, I have started taking steps on that. I want to make them very effective, so that, because that is a sort of a, that committee itself becomes a sort of a mini council or mini assembly, where the problems raised by the people, the problems given by the people to these legislators, to the council members, and those matters are discussed in the council with the relevant departments, with the officers of the government, and they are taken to task. This is a very long-standing problem. Why has this not been addressed yet? So I want to strengthen that to the effect that it should just not be a formality, mere formality, but the departments, the bureaucracy, the officers in the government, the people in the government who are responsible to get those jobs done in time to the betterment of the people. If they are not doing it, they should get punished, so that that sword should be hanging on them, because then the most of the questions which otherwise come to the council or the assembly will be addressed over there, and the load on the inside the house, that will come down, and that's why that, and therefore the people also will be happier. The problems will be solved.
Absolutely. So what are the plans? I know execution for months, that's a very little time. So what are the plans and execution timelines that you're looking at?
Well, I think I should be able to, there's not much to do, but whatever I want to do and introduce new things, I think we should be able to, it should not take more than a year. It should not take more than a year to get everything streamlined.
All right.
And my image in the house is different. People know that I have, people know that any chairman is impartial. He does not belong to any party. But people know my background. I believe in getting work done. I would, whether the questions raised by the ruling party people or the opposition, I would take the officers and the government to task if genuine demands are not met with.
That's a very important statement that you're making, sir. But before we sign off, another worry, of course, is the shortened period of the sessions of the assemblies of the councils.
That is one thing which I have been raising with the party when I was there in the party. You see, I am there in the Bihar Legislative Council from the last 21 years now.
That's a very long time.
And I have been winning. I have not been nominated. I am from the graduates constituency. I have won twice as an independent member and twice with the JDU.
Yes, sir.
But it's now 21 years, and that is one thing which I have always said, that we should have more number of days. Right now, we are not even having 60, 70 days a year.
Very sad.
I find personally, as a legislator, I find that's too less, because I see many problems being solved during the session. Members raising voices, raising questions, making unruly behavior is one thing, but at least 50–60% of those things get solved. Those problems definitely get solved. The government, they get embarrassed. They get caught when they are sleeping over problems, not delaying the matters and everything. So that is one. That is the only place I see where even the bureaucracy shivers कि मेरा नाम कहीं आ गया, उसमें हमारे विभाग का नाम आ गया, हमारी आ गई, तो मेरी बैंड बज जाएगी. तो ये this is I think that is something. Why not have more sessions? What's wrong with it?
Right.
What's wrong with it? Right. It's not that no one is going to topple your government. What I'm saying is it applies to most of these states where the councils are there.
Absolutely.
I'm not talking about Bihar, but most of the places.
Even assemblies, sir, for that matter.
Even assembly for that matter. You're right. उतनी ही चलती है. कोई वो ज़्यादा चल रहा है, ये कम चल रहा है, ऐसा तो है नहीं. अगर कम चल रहा है तो उसको ज़्यादा निश्चित रूप से चलाना चाहिए. I subscribe to that view, definitely.
Absolutely, sir. On that note, thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you.
Well, viewers, that's all we had for you in this edition. Thanks for watching and stay tuned to Sansad TV.
Thank you.
Goodbye from my side for now.